Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the world of home tech with me, your host Paul Hibbert. I was recently approached by F-Secure and asked if I wanted to do a commercial for them. I was going to be the star of the show and everything, but then of course they realised there was this guy and changed their mind. I wonder how that would have gone. What first got me into home automation? I used to drink a lot. Like a hell of a lot. I used to really drink a lot of alcohol. Oh, and Harry Potter. I liked magic and I wanted to do magic, so drinking and Harry Potter. That a good take? Where does my knowledge come from? Google. Oh, and making stuff up. Sometimes I just make stuff up. Google and making stuff up. I think this is going well. So what is this thing? This is F-Secure's hardware router firewall, and basically it is not the thinking man's firewall. It's for dumbasses like me. I plugged it in and I basically said, "Hey F-Secure, what do you want me to do?" And it went, "Nothing, stupid human, I am in control now." And that was it. So how does this thing work? Well, it's basically got artificial intelligence fairies living in it, from what I can surmise from their paperwork. And basically you can take these artificial intelligence fairies and put them onto your computers and your mobile phones and all those things as well, and they'll all talk to one another to give you a whole, holistic system. So this does all the traditional firewall bit, whereas all the ones on your devices, such as your phones and your tablets and your PCs, is kind of like the antivirus bit. But it's one big holistic approach, and that is pretty cool. So to the uninitiated and the people still living in 1992, what is a firewall anyway? Well, if you imagine your antivirus lives on your computer, and it protects that computer ultimately from you, because it's you that goes and downloads these viruses, either by clicking on the wrong link, or downloading an email you shouldn't, or opening that Facebook post from someone saying that they're your gran when they're not. Basically, the firewall's job is to block out everything you didn't invite in. So there are lots of sad cases on the internet, people that live in their parents' basements, and they want to take control of aspects of your computer any which way that they can. And the firewall's job is to block out any traffic you didn't ask for, so that they can't do that. You have a firewall built into your router by default. Now, why would a home automation type, such as myself, want a separate firewall, something that is a bit stronger? The reason is that we, as a home automation community, tend to do silly things. We like to poke holes in our firewall, and I'll explain why in a second. And we also like to buy devices that ultimately are susceptible to this sort of thing. So why do we poke holes in our firewall? Well, if you saw last week's video, I showed you how you could control Kodi using Alexa. In order so that Alexa could get to Kodi in the first place, I had to punch a hole in the firewall to allow that traffic to come through. So I said, any traffic on port 2341, very specifically, should now be opened up to the internet so that Alexa can get in. The only problem is it actually opens it up to everybody in the whole world. If they know the port number, they know my IP address, and they know the username and password to control Kodi, technically, they can do exactly what Alexa is doing, and they can control Kodi in my house. And that'd be dead annoying. It wouldn't be a massive issue though. The main issue is things like IP cameras. So I set up my IP camera and I opened up a port to it on my router because I wanted to set up a home automation task to control that camera. And what happened was some jerk started watching me in this room and I freaked out. It was not cool and I thought I would like a better firewall. That's what this video is. So everything this company makes is all white and pure and like it's come straight out of heaven. That is some more things. That is thing. Trying to get to the interesting part here. I'll have to read this stuff, I'm sure. I have no idea how to connect a firewall to Virgin. The exciting part. Get off, stuff. I want to get to the shiny. Oh my goodness, it's shiny. Look at that. I think this has like a light up clock or something on it, like it wants to be part of your furniture. I'll allow it. Some Ethernet ports, probably not enough Ethernet ports for me. I'll probably have to plug a little switch into that to get the amount of Ethernet ports I need. But it's very pretty, very obelisk-esque. I like the way that looks. That will look nice in my dingy room, looking all like it's better than me. Better than you. That is pretty, though. I am very pleased. Hello, smart person. Flattery will get you everywhere, F-Secure. Flattery will get you everywhere. Built. That is a plug that is built. Let's plug it in and see what it looks like. That looks like the old BlackBerry symbol. Nobody wants that. Do something else. I think I have to do something a bit more clever than just plug it into the wall. Okay, I'm going to go and install this and connect my router to it and see what happens. That's what I'm going to do. See you in a minute. So should you buy this router? Yes and no. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the exceptionally ugly, but the exceptionally ugly might not matter to you, so don't go anywhere. I love this thing, like, genuinely love it. Not only does it look beautiful, but the concept behind it is ingenious. It's a device that sits on your network and not only looks after all of the other devices on your network for firewall duties, but also for antivirus too. It's not just providing antivirus and firewall, it's also doing all of these things. On top of that, it's not just doing it for the things on your network, it's also doing it for mobile devices and tablets when you leave the house. And it's all produced on the cloud by F-Secure, which means that it's also always up to date. The whole concept of it is beautiful. But not only is it looking after all of those things in all of those different ways, it's also looking after your IoT devices such as your Nest thermostats and your IP cameras and all of the other devices that you can't put antivirus on. And that is beautiful. Now for the bad. This thing costs quite a bit of money from the outset. It's then free for a year, and then you have to pay this much money every single month if you want all of the features. And that, to me, is a fair amount of money. And maybe I'm being unfair here, because I totally get that they are updating everything constantly and therefore have running costs associated with that. But I already pay a subscription for my Ring Video doorbell, for my mobile phone, for my internet connection, for my TV, for my Netflix account, and I don't want any more subscriptions. Again, maybe I'm being unfair, and it's not like it doesn't continue to work after that. If you don't pay your subscription, you just don't get all of those cool features I mentioned earlier on. It still works as a pretty powerful router. The USB port does not work, apparently. I haven't tried it for myself, but I've read on the internet from only 5 days ago, someone saying that they tried to plug a menagerie of things into it and nothing happened. Now, if you're going to put a blue, shiny USB port on the back of your router, people are going to plug stuff into it. So F-Secure, you might want to review that. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, it's in the video description if I'm wrong. If I've been corrected by somebody by the time I release this, I will put in the description that I am a loser and an idiot and I apologize, and in fact the USB port works. So keep your eyes out for that. Now for the exceptionally ugly. At least it is to me. It might not be to you. I like to tinker, I am a tinkerer, and I cannot tinker in the way that I wish to tinker. And you lot are tinkerers too, and you will want to tinker, I imagine, and won't be able to tinker in the way that you wish to tinker either. So the problem is this. Basically, this thing can do port forwarding. So it can do traffic from the outside world of a specific type can be passed to a specific machine on the other side of the router. The thing it cannot do is always ensure that that thing has the same IP address each time it connects to the router. So if each of these things keep getting different IP addresses all the time, the port forwarding is pointless, because it's going to be told, here is a port number, oh yes, that goes to this IP address. If that IP address keeps changing for different devices, it's not always going to go to the same device, and it's therefore pointless. Port forwarding is a staple of routing, and it's been around for forever. Even the cheapest of routers can get this right, and this is not a cheap router. So I am incredibly disappointed to say I cannot recommend this to tinkerers like myself. If this changes, I will put that in the description immediately, because everything else about this product is great and I love it. So if you're watching this in a month or so's time, have a quick look in the description just to find out if the situation has changed, because that will be a big factor in your decision. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help support my channel, there are links in the description to do that too. I'll see you next time. I used to drink a lot, like a real... Oh, dude. And that will tell you whether it's and you've got all the cool features of nonsense, Paul. Well, a firewall is basically a I am a knob that she can control it. And the people still living in 19...